So was I.
Mhm.
And it was at 11 p.m. too. Like I'm asleep.
I'm interested what it does for her. Hey, Delaney. Well, she's connecting because I did the live stream this time and it did go through. It worked.
Hey guys, good morning. Thanks for zooming me in.
I'm interested what it does for her. Hey, Delaney. Well, she's connecting because I did the live stream this time and it did go through. It worked.
Good morning. Thanks for zooming me in. Can y'all hear me?
Streaming it all, Delaney. Well, she's connecting. It worked. Oh, I know why.
Can y'all hear me?
Bringing it all, Delaney. Well, she's connecting. You're hearing the delay on this. All right, Delaney, did he give you a message about possibly connecting to the live stream?
It tells me it's live on YouTube.
Okay, cool. So it is working. Woohoo! We fixed that problem. That's one problem down. Oh my gosh. So you guys are going to want to go to the NEHS folder because our network is down. So you'll want to go to it and go to the task list. Because we definitely haven't looked at this task list, including me, in quite some time. I'm going to share this with you, Delaney, so you can see it.
Sounds great. Thank you.
I'm sorry you're stuck. It sounds like it's miserable out there.
There's a I literally just got off the interstate and I'm trying to take little back roads back down to Woodstock.
Delaney, I literally had to do, so I live off of exit 16. I got on the highway at 6:14 in the morning. I got on the highway at exit 16 and I had just made it to exit 14 at 6:42.
It's insane this morning.
Yeah, so I literally veered off. I just got off at 14 and I took back roads the rest of the way. I was like, I can't, this is absurd. Like it literally took me 30 minutes to get 2 miles down the road.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Okay, so it won't let me share a document. Very interesting. Like, okay, there's my screen. Let's see if I can share it now. Yes. And I'm sure you're seeing all these little scary messages. Oh, you don't want to see the WIDA indicators, do you? I've got everything open, everything. Okay, so I am on the to-do list and we need to start with recruitment. Who's on it? Kendra, are you on it yet? Okay, do you want to go down the recruitment as we go through these things and we can mark them so everybody knows where we are? So the first one, GPAs, is complete. The money receipt book is complete. Online payments are complete. Boy, we have not done this in a while. Roster of invitations is complete. Email invites is complete. Recruitment video is complete. Recruitment blurb, t-shirts, advertising campaign, sizes, dues and fees, yes. T-shirts purchase order, yes. T-shirt order, t-shirts for prepayment, yes. Add paid members to Canvas, yes. National membership is done. 1, 2, and 3. Regalia, we've inventoried what we have. We placed the order. We've purchased the order. Okay, so everything except for the last 2 on recruitment are done. Woo! We probably should order or put t-shirts back in here for one of them. I'm going to put it underneath Regalia, t-shirts distributed. Okay. And it's in progress because they're ordered. Well, no, I'm going to say not started because they're technically not here. Okay, so yeah, everything but those last 3 are done with recruitment. We're almost done with our recruitment season. Woo, woo, woo. We're going to do it before November this year. Woo. Induction ceremony. Have we met formally as a team to talk about induction ceremony and any changes we wanted to make? I don't think we have. It's probably a good time to capture that.
Yeah, and I made a note on my phone. Let me switch over to that during induction of all the things we talked about that we wanted to switch up.
Go for it.
So we talked about, I have notes here of like signs of where to sit, notes of roping off the seats for the inductees, Confirm the number of chairs we needed on the stage.
Yes.
Clarify the directions with the flowers when like the new members were supposed to receive them from the old members, that kind of thing. We had a note for streamlining the check-in process somehow. And then we also discussed, I know Haley and I just talked about the way that National Honor Society tapes the names to the seats, and maybe trying that for the end of the year. Calling 20 names at a time and like pausing for applause after each set of names, and then having a members meeting directly before the ceremony.
But that didn't work.
So hold on, let me message this to Robin. Kids, don't text and drive like I'm doing presently. Okay.
This is what not to do.
Yeah. All right. I just sent that note to Robin on text.
Perfect. And we'll make sure those notes get put in our to-do
But
list.
that's everything we made note of during the ceremony.
Is there anything from your guys' perspective that we should discuss or add to this? Yeah. It's doable to try, right? We can try it, and if it works better, great. If it doesn't, we can look again. I mean, I think doing that in the spring and seeing what works and what doesn't, especially because the spring will have more people there than we always do in the induction ceremony, because people come for the regalia.
And we talked about moving the location too, and not doing the auditorium, but maybe the gym in the spring.
Yeah, because we cannot fit in that auditorium.
No, we're too big for it now.
We were too big for what was there, and there were quite a few members not there. So I can't even imagine what the spring's going to be like. Yeah, Jim. Oh boy.
Which means that maybe we need to put some notes in there at some point with end of year ceremony for like getting a team together. The team that's going to like be getting all the chairs and equipment over there. The team that's going to be all that stuff.
Yeah, sooner rather than later.
Mhm.
Yeah, Delaney, we probably need to figure out, like, have students sign up to be the setup team, and students,
Agreed.
they'll have their points for that.
Do we have a date for that yet?
It's tentative in April. We usually try to do it right before
Milestones, right?
like that Thursday, or even the week of milestones when English goes out, as much as that sucks.
Yeah.
We moved it up a lot earlier this year, and it did not work in our favor. It actually made it much worse. There wasn't enough time to get
Yeah, we tried to do it before spring break this past year, and it was too much.
Yeah. So it definitely has to be after spring break, but that sweet spot between spring break and milestones AP testing season, because that's when it gets racy for everybody.
Agreed. We'll look at that calendar, and we can go ahead and get something on our schedule and Etowah's schedule.
Yeah, and I'd love to see if we could ask Joanne, like, when NHS goes, because one of the benefits of waiting until around-ish that time is that it's going to be set up.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be better to almost piggyback or go right before, so that we're not worried about setting up, tearing down, because NHS goes, Beta Beta doesn't have an end of the, who else? ROTC goes, us, and they all use the new gym because of their size. And I know the coaches get very upset at us using it because of heels.
Yeah.
The more that we can get towards that time, the more they're going to have all the mats down and everything. I guess it does stuff to their floor. I don't know. I'm not the sports person. All righty. So, Addie, the monthly meeting is ready to go from my perspective. So you just need to, and we can do it outside of this meeting, assign everything. The biggest thing we need to know about this meeting is it's jam freaking packed. This meeting is the sophomore vote for representative, and this is the way it fell this year because we're late getting started. Also the teachers for ELALs and Shop with an Eagle. So boom, 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 all at the same time. This is part of this meeting. Yeah. So it's a lot. Yeah. It takes, and she can tell you, it takes us a month to track down enough people to cover all the teachers. And in November, we want to have some sort of interactive way that they can figure out who their team members are and come up with communication. If we don't do that, they won't communicate, and then we end up with failure. So we have to do it in October. So we have a month. Then in November, they meet with their teams, figure out how they're going to communicate, and then we're ready to go.
at the end of the meeting, be like, we're gonna post this now and then like do it after you get off the meeting, or does that have to be like during the meeting?
We can do that. We could put it as a QR code in Canva that they have to do by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that might be
because
a little
the
bit
vote
easier,
has
like,
to be the
keep
most
it-
important
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Yeah.
So that's going to be the end. So we can just say, look for the QR code, go live, and I can set it up so it's delayed to go out at 8:30 a.m.
Do we also want to talk about with logistics and location and the
Yes.
East team being on Main this year,
Yes.
where we're gonna like set
Oh,
that
yeah.
stuff
It
up? but,
doesn't
like,
have to be here. It
Yeah.
absolutely doesn't have to be here. So let's have that conversation. Like, do we want to see if the media center will open up early for us?
Easier for everybody, but I'm like, I don't know.
There's
Like,
really not a
also,
place in the 3,000 building.
I mean, we can do it in my room, it's fine. We
Oh,
can
it
set
would
it
be
up in
too
my room,
crowded.
but it's very yeah, I
It
don't
would be
think
way too crowded.
people
And
would
there's
fit.
not, I mean, we could ask for the Success Lab too. Because it's not being
could.
used at that morning and it's a
That's
little bit
true.
more centrally located.
we could request to just like use it those
Use that
mornings
facility in the morning.
and then. put
How do you
the-
guys feel about
yeah.
that?
You could have me-
It's right there by the C lobby.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not open. It's not officially a thing. It's a meeting room, but we could put it there because when students are being dropped off, they're not walking forever. It's right there. When they're leaving, it's either across or over.
Yeah.
So that works because I'm not in it. So nobody has to come to East at all. Since I'm not in it at all. So that makes total sense to me. The only person they'd have to come across for is Ms. Collins.
Yeah.
But everybody else is on Main. Hi,
oh, we can-
I'm gonna go log in.
We can put in a meeting, like, if your is at East. Sign up on the college. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes,
So if you can
that way
make,
you're
like, a sign
already
up of, like,
walking
you know,
over to, yeah.
But also, I don't think if we couldn't do this, I don't think it'd be the end of the world to keep it over here. in the morning,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
a lot of people, their first period is over there.
Is on
so it's
Main
not like
anyway.
like, honestly, it doesn't really make that much.
so
of a
they'd be
difference
setting
at
up
all.
and then
Yeah.
they'd be walking over
It
there
doesn't make that
anyway.
much of a difference, because then also like the only people that would be staying over here, they could pick it if their first period is here to do. Like,
Yeah.
Collins and then they already.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be that big of a deal if we.
That's true. Naomi made a good point that if all else fails on getting a location over there, most people's first periods is on Main anyway. So even if they have to come here and set up,
It's not like going
they're
back and
walking
forth.
back to Main to
Okay.
get to their first.
Let's try the Success Lab first. Media Center is a backup because I hate to take over their space.
Yep.
Success Lab is empty, so I'm okay with that. And then this will be the third.
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody? All
Sounds
right.
Good.
Sophomore reps. We had beautiful plans to interview every single one of them. We interviewed one. And then there was a hurricane that happened. Literally in the middle of the interview, the thunder was happening and we're like, okay, so there's 5 candidates. I can tell you their names. I'm gonna just email conversation with them and have them stop in and meet with Ms. Coggins or stop in and meet with me. Just so we can have eyeballs on them. So we interviewed, then I didn't write her name down. Arden,
Yeah.
her last name starts with an A. She's in band. She's a good candidate. Kenley Duncan, Eva Schwartz, Shanera Wilder, Allegra Panga, and Ansley King. And then Arden is on this list as well. So we have 6 candidates. And one of the things that Addie and I had talked about is that the meetings just are better if there is an audience for whatever reason. Do we want to, since this is a sophomore focused event, say all sophomores this month, you must be in attendance. Everybody else can be on Zoom.
So I was talking to. No, not very close, in Asian. And we used Zoom last time for, I'm almost positive NHS is over 100 people and they use Microsoft Teams.
We're not going to use Teams. And it doesn't have a 100 limit. The streaming didn't work. That's what the problem was. Yeah, and it's working because it came up today. So whatever was the problem last time, they fixed it. I did ask for it to be captured. And the reason that I use it is it's easier to transfer and then upload as a video. You can't do that as easily with Teams. It goes to SharePoint and it's this
They
whole
also-
thing.
person for attendance and like they have to we have to email our names and our numbers if we
Yep.
called in and stuff.
Yep.
And it's like a pain for Miss Wallace. She
Yeah,
told me all
I
the time
don't
how much
want
so,
to do that.
but if the live stream is it like what is it like a live stream for them to then join if they're gonna make it in that tool?
Yeah, so when Mrs. Campbell logged in today, it says this is live on YouTube. And so it will say, have a link there that says click, and they can go to YouTube and watch it straight from YouTube and see the video. And I can show you what it looks like because we are actually streaming as we speak.
So if they're past the one person, it's
Oh,
there.
cool,
You
okay.
can click that.
Yeah. So we are actually live streaming as we're doing this, just testing it out. That gives us abilities of just making sure that happens. Alrighty, so we're gonna be in agreement of that. I think we should probably come up with rotation for the rest of the ones. Do we want to go by classes each month, or do we want to have signups? What do we want to do?
Classes is probably the easiest.
Cause
Yeah.
so like
Okay,
Yeah.
so next time we'll just go with juniors. November juniors, you're in attendance. And then December, December is,
Do we meet in just, I can't remember. if
we
met
have a
December.
meeting, but it's a drop-in for a thank you note
Right.
kind of thing, because it's the last day of English elves.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
a Friday instead of a Monday. We could just do everybody virtual that way, and then January seniors would be in attendance, and then we go sophomore, junior. Okay, so let's make that January. Let's put it out there.
That way they'll actually.
That's, we'll just make that the focus of that meeting, that all the scholarships that are senior centric go out that day so that they have that information. Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea. Alrighty. So how are First Fridays going? They looked better this month. Would you guys say? Not so many people, showing us Great Gatsby that they're still reading. Oh my God, torture me now. Sorry, I'm not a Gatsby fan. I'm sorry for you Gatsby fans in the room. So I think it's going better. Is it still as active now that we've taken away interesting. I have started to see a trend where they're in the media center with books, which gives me pause. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing for us to have a conversation in this meeting about honor,
Yeah.
and that there's an honor code at Etowah High School, and as a member of an honor society, you're well aware that you need to follow the rules. This isn't about points. This is about service, and to take a look in the mirror. And are you doing it with fidelity, or are you doing it to get a point? And I think that's really a good conversation as we go into Shop with an Eagle, because that's where it really starts to rear its ugly head versus give me my points versus you're doing this for children who are less fortunate. So I don't think it's a message not fitting what we need to do. And I've seen that in those in particular, but I also saw it this week, this last week in Pen Pals. Oh my gosh, donations are on Monday, all day Monday. You can come anytime on Monday. And on Friday, they're coming in with donations. Can I get my points? I'm like, no, donations were Monday because we wrote the letters on Monday. Now the letters are written. I don't need the donations. And then they start to get, but I want my points. And I'm like, this isn't about points. It's about service. And so I think if we put that message, and it can come from us, it does not need to come from y'all. Right before Shop with an Eagle, we'll bounce one of us in there. I'm going to make Miss Coggins do it because she's very sweet, very, do it.
I can do it. I can be mean too. It's fine.
But I think it's a good message as you get into, we want Crayola, not cheap rose art crayons, please. And when we say 24, it's because we want a kid to get a pack of 24, not a 3 packs of 6 that are the same dang colors. There's a point to why we're asking for what we're asking for.
Honestly, like, I mean, like, obviously, like, I don't want to just be like, we can't accept these, but like, honestly, like last year when I was inventorying, I was like, I swear there was like literally everything but 24 Crayola.
Right.
So, like, there has to be a point where we're like, we cannot, like,
We have to hold them accountable.
yeah.
And say, hey, the reason we
It's
asked for
not
this is for a reason.
and it's like the donation like is staying.
Yeah.
Crayola
24
Maybe
packs.
we should
Yeah.
tell them, like,
This is
what
what we want them to
have.
see.
Right.
Nice.
We don't want
Like we want them to
some
have the
kids
nice.
to go and some
Yeah.
kids to
And then on the other end of that, like I know if people like financially like fight that, like those are more expensive because they're the nicer things. That's why we have points for the things that you don't
Assembly.
have to spend money on.
Taking the
You
packs
can-
over.
yes, like all of that stuff, is you still get points and not.
Yes.
So if you can't spend that
Yes.
extra money, that's fine. Like we don't want anyone to think we're
Yes.
forcing you. Yeah.
No, this is for people that want to or can
Yeah.
afford it. It is not meant to be the only way to get points in this group for sure. And we're very acutely aware of it. Heck, when you look at fall social, there are more points for attending and bringing a friend and cleaning up than there are for donations and
Correct.
everything else. And that's by design, just because we believe that 100% in what we do. Okay, so off of the first Friday, the monthly challenges seem to be also going well. Those people that want to participate are participating. Fall book club, give us only. Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah. I think you guys will like Clear in the Sun a little bit better. It's more of a conversation and it's a little bit more relative of AI-ish and kind of computers and sentient beings. So it's kind of a little bit more interesting for people. It's shorter too. Did you write your essay?
I'm doing that tonight.
You have until 1:59 tonight, right?
12:50.
12:59 tonight. Okay. We're gonna have one
And I'm
submission.
going to do a video too.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're doing the video this year. Interesting. Interesting. I think we're at the point that like donations are rolling in, donations will roll out. What day are you planning pumpkins, Mrs. Collins? It's Coggins, to get the pumpkins donated. Should we wait till Wednesday?
Yeah. These are coming in now. Yeah. We can do it all day Wednesday.
All day. And do it all over here, so you're not having to bring pumpkins over. That's way too much.
Yeah, pumpkins will be.
Yeah. And I can just have them just load
Line
that
up
with
over
pumpkins
here.
over here, so it's
And
not in the way.
then Thursday, we want them decorating them Friday during lunch.
Fridays during lunches. Yeah, that works. That works. So fall book club dates have been updated. Do we want to get a graphic together and get that out there and advertise? I know Mr. Park. I'm having a hard time code switching. I wish I could just call them by their first name because I never call them by their last name. Mr. Ellis said that was one of the things you guys had discussed. So we can get that out there for sure. No, yeah, absolutely. Good. And all I did was put the dates in. I didn't put anything fancy. So I think if we follow that with an advertisement and even maybe a blurb about what the book's about, I would say, according to Amazon, and copy it off, and then you cited your source and you don't have to write it, right? But if we can put that out there, definitely that'll be great. I'm going to try to get to these book club meetings with you. I read Clear in the Sun a while ago and I'm rereading it and I'm liking it because, you know, we're in a different phase of what we think about AI at this point.
Honestly, I think it would be
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I love him.
all the stuff and have like all the
You also have a
information
lot more
ready.
time this time.
Yeah, like
Yes.
there's so much time.
Yes.
We're just like yapping about everything. 'Cause I think-
So let's just say that this is a time to come and talk not only about the book, but the issues that surround the book. And it's a great low-key,
Laid back,
calm
not
way to get
crazy,
involved.
not
Correct.
trying to-
No, I think if we keep that as kind of the message, we'll get more people that are willing to participate. We want them to read the book, but honestly, for me, whenever I've been in, and Mr. Ellis, you can back this up, whenever you're in conversations with people like that, and you all of a sudden want to read the book because it's not like, great, there's a test afterwards and there's a quiz afterwards. It's a little bit more engaging. So maybe they don't read it the first meeting and then they start reading it going, this is a great book. So maybe that'll help kind of spur that. So for a book club, I think the next thing we need to do is figure out what we're reading in the spring. Are we reading one book? Or are we reading two? And then come up with maybe a list that we can put out to the members like we did last year where they vote. And that might be a great thing. Who wants to work with Mr. Ellis on that? We don't technically, you've got it. And definitely go to our media center specialists and say, what are some hot books right now that students are reading, as kind of a way to gauge what we might want to suggest to our members. It might be an option. Are we doing it again today?
Till Wednesday.
Till Wednesday?
Yeah.
I missed that email. Thank you. You know me and my emails. Okay.
Definitely something like worked really well. Like kind of like the hundreds games wasn't really thriller, but definitely like something like that because like it really grabs your attention.
Also,
It's relatable characters for teens,
something really good,
but not
like
talking down.
I've heard about like where I'm finding books I like to read is like honestly like on TikTok, and I
Mhm.
heard about the inheritance
Mhm.
games on TikTok.
Mhm.
It's like honestly looking there for like
Mhm.
books that are obviously like school appropriate, but
Mhm.
like interesting. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure it's
Yeah,
fun
they
to
had the
watch
whole
stuff.
book talk.
Book talk, and then there's also Bookstagram, which is another one that people kind of nerd out about books as well. It's worth looking. And what I do know works really well for that one is having that students who are interested in reading and the scholarships, and they're ready to go. All right, is there anything else to finish the semester? Because our next meeting is all about next semester. I think we're good for this semester with our point opportunities. I'm a little worried about second semester, so we definitely need to look at that. We still have book decor or
Door
Door decor.
Move that to spring.
Wonderful Wednesdays
have
goes out.
spring social.
Spring social. Game night is always a hit. Maybe we do 2 instead of 1 because that's always a hit. Yeah, and I think that might help.
Oh, I actually.
Yeah.
So we were talking, I know that we have those points due.
Yeah, I'll forward it to you.
But since that's like the Tuesday after the meeting, like in the meeting, like kind of more of like what happens if they don't
Yes.
have it, like, you know, like make that clear that they're not just like out of NEHS.
Yes.
But like,
Yeah, because I've already had a conversation with a couple people.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I just feel that like the year like starts, especially because that's the day before, you
Yeah.
know? And then also like, people like rushing towards the last minute, and it's just like more stressful for us.
Right. And I think we need to be realistic with them and say, hey, there are a lot of ways to not only be successful before October 15th. I think that's a message that maybe you and I can work and put it out this week. So that it's very clear. Just a reminder, the 15th is coming. Here are the point opportunities available so that they know what those are. But then after October 15th, I think we need to follow and say, here are the point available before the end of December. I think a conversation about probation means nothing other than you got to make sure you have 10 by the end of December. Nothing has changed point wise. What's changed is we're being more proactive and not waiting till the last minute to remind them that they need to do it. So our communication has changed by moving that date up. But when I look at how many points we've offered 25 points before October 15th. And we still haven't put in the book room that I think it's going to take us at least 6 more times.
Correct.
Probably 8.
Correct. Which is a lot of points there.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You could
8
finish your
points
point-
right
you could finish
there.
your points for the year.
Just for fall social for those people to
Mhm.
get their
They could do it all
So,
this week.
you literally do everything.
They could do it all this week. If they haven't written their pen pal letter, they have that. There are 10 points going out for English elves. There are 5 points possible for Shop with an Eagle. So when I look at the trajectory of the semester, what I try to do, just so you guys know, is I try to minimum have 20 points per semester available. So it's double what's expected. And we are far surpassing that. So somebody could finish the entire club this month or this semester. I don't want them to. I want them to come to game night, but they could. And I do that for a reason, because there are some people right now that are not as active, and they're the ones coming and talking to me because they're in fall sports and it's harder to be involved. But then they're going to ramp it up in the spring. And the same thing happens when our spring sports go out. They don't have time, so they rack it up in the fall. So it by design is made that way. My concern is we don't have enough points for second semester right now, which is the thing I want us to think about going into our November, which is planning for second semester, to make sure we have a minimum of 20 points. And I think we're close with the wonderful Wednesdays. If we did 2 game nights, if we did door decor in some way, shape, or form, it doesn't have to be door decor.
I feel like we that like the amount, because like last year, like I think a lot of people, most people had more than 10. And so it's like how, like what percentage of people are only just at 10 and what percentage are like, almost done? Because I like last year there was like, a ton of people that had like, 16, 17 points by the end of the semester, or even
Like
they
we
were-
shouldn't have to offer as much in
No,
the
right,
spring
definitely.
because they
Yeah.
should.
Mhm.
And also that's like English elves, because like we need as much participation as possible.
So the light green on the roster means that they've met the October 15th deadline. The bright green means that they're over. There's quite a few people that have finished it. Yeah, and on that note, we do a really bad job as a leadership team of making sure we record our time. Please record your time, y'all, please, so that we can make sure and show that. Because you guys should be far surpassed everybody else. But I know we do a horrible job of making sure we do that.
I had a question too about like something next semester. Could we do something like Valentine's Day for English teachers? Maybe like
It's
have
part of our
people donate
Wednesdays.
like what?
It's part of our Wednesdays, yeah.
Like maybe even like a separate thing from that though, like maybe like donate some cute like flowers or something and then like
That's usually what
something
we
on-
do.
Yeah, so what we did last year is we had the Wednesdays, the wonderful Wednesdays led up to, so we would do January, February 14th of the
Mhm.
wonderful Wednesday, we would deliver to the teachers. Last year, I think we did like
We've done a picture
picture
frame with a nice
frame
little saying in
yeah,
it.
with a little saying in it. We've done
Flowers, their favorite
flowers,
flowers.
chocolates,
Chocolates,
candies.
yes. And we usually do something every year with that and we attach it to those because that coming back after that for seniors especially, January, February is horrible. Y'all
Yeah.
don't want to be here. You are checked out. You're more than likely decided what you're doing with your future. And
Right.
so when we do those Wednesdays, it's a way to get everybody involved.
Yeah.
First is like thanking each other and being friends and being, it's kind of like that kindness week that we used to do that the kindness committee took away from us.
Yes.
So we do it
So
every
now we just do
Wednesday.
it on Wednesdays. Yeah.
But we have activities planned and the last one is always about our teachers and that's when we want to do it. So if you want to start coming up with some ideas of
Yeah.
something that could be, because what we try to do is something people can donate for
Yeah,
and then somebody can assemble.
yeah, there was
So we
like
can give multiple points and
there
then
was,
deliver.
something on TikTok, it was like New Year, new supplies or something, and they were
Mhm.
getting like their teachers like little supply things, like something that they might need for like the new
Sure.
semester or something, like second
Yeah.
semester more supplies.
So something like that
Really
is
cute,
always
like,
loved by teachers.
Because
Yeah.
those are like the like cheaper options. They could even like write a note to
Mhm.
go with it if they don't want to spend the
Mhm.
money or something like that, like something cute like that.
Yeah.
I feel like because English House is such a good week for getting points because
So amazing.
people can just like grab one thing based on what
Yes.
a teacher says they want.
And we
And
have
then
those
it's
lists.
like simple and it's, yeah, exactly. So I feel like that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, so if we did something like that, that we could,
Yeah.
If you need
assemble.
something more for the,
And we're
something
looking
that
at
we can
the-
assemble
yeah.
and make into
Yeah.
something, because that
Didn't
gives our
we
members
try-
points.
Remember, we wanted to do that
That's what happened last
year
year.
with the little things and we
Didn't
couldn't find anything to like.
Nobody donated.
Yeah.
Nobody
no one
donated.
had
We
donated
literally
last
had no
year.
donations. And we're like,
Yeah.
"Well, we're done."
Also, I remember last year, one thing that we said we were gonna do just as like a reminder, it's like, we have like thank a friend and thank a teacher on the same day.
We
And
split
said last
those.
time to split those because.
Yes.
Never, that most people just did a friend,
Right.
and we did both, we get like.
So on band, if you go to band now, you should see in the month and it has what the plan is. Let's look at that before we get ourselves out of here.
Yeah, while she's looking at that, we have, so Valentine's Day falls on a Thursday next year. So we could do our wonderful Wednesdays leading up to it, and then maybe that like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, do like the donations, the assembly, the putting together, and then maybe I'll be able to deliver them out on.
Yeah,
on
so
Thursday.
the first one is a motivational post. The next one is thank a teacher. The third one is thank a friend. The fourth one is kindness rocks. We talked about making and decorating rocks that we can put all over the area. That was a huge one when we used to do it. Then on the 5th, it just says wonderful Wednesdays. We don't have a plan. So that one's open for something. And then the 12th is kindness conversation hearts. Oh, that's what we talked about doing on their door. Conversation hearts. So we were going to have people come in and decorate conversation hearts for the teachers. Just have a bunch of hearts cut out in different construction paper and write little messages to them and then take them and just post them all over their doors. Remember that?
Yes.
And not just English teachers, but the entire campus. So NEHS is leaving conversation hearts out of construction paper on doors of teachers all over campus. So that would be a good one that they could come in and make and then deliver on that day. So we've got one open.
Do the flower.
I forgot the flowers. That one's a big one. Okay, so we've got them all planned out and then do something special for the teachers that Thursday. Is that the Thursday before break?
That is. Yes, that's a Thursday before break. Yeah,
Okay, that'll be fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it'll be
it'll-
a nice little like treat to get them to, finishing out break.
yeah.
They'll be busy on us, but they'll feel grateful.
I'm thinking if I'm gonna be horizontal or vertical, which way am I
Uh-huh.
gonna be?
And which is our, this is not to do with y'all, sorry. This is our GCTE here, right? Okay, so we can handle it.
Yeah, that was the other part. I hadn't thought about that
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
All right, so when we come back then, let's talk about next semester. Yeah, yeah.
So go get my
Yeah,
stuff.
go for it. Go for it. Awesome. You need to pass too?
You
Awesome.
could-
Perfect. Where are you headed to?
I'm coming back.
You guys
to
have
Easton. I just went to my
donations?
car to get my stuff. I
Okay.
didn't think
So you're
so.
going to Gov
Yeah, I'm going to.
Spanish. Got you. Bye, Park. Bye, Delaney.
Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Oh, hang on 2 seconds. I want to get myself out of Zoom. Bye. Where did I go? Here I am. How do I get out of here? And they're not ready to go in yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I just had to ask me and I said that we would let them know when they're updated and everything, so.
Hang on 2 seconds. I can't get out of Zoom.
I mean,